That Kurosawa guy seems I'll keep an eye on him. Sounds great. I need to discuss something. You're a computer whiz, Jasmine. So we know quite a bit more, but also quite a bit less. Which means the doppelganger came to the server room, but it seems it slipped away without taking in anything this time. Huh? Huh? But in this room, there's one server, which sounds like an obvious target. Say what? Well, you see, I shouldn't be telling everyone this, but I'm gonna tell the world. Well, you see, why are you whispering? The server contains the National Police's information system. The National Police?! Shh! But nothing seems to have been swiped from the server, yeah? Seems the police info system needs special authentication to access. Authentication? So a password? And it left this room, for now at least. For now? Ultra top secret info. I'm more and more confused about the doppelganger's goals. Actually, Azami, I think I might have an idea. Question is, what type of data from the National Police is stored here? There. Oh, is there a way to find out? I think Kurosawa has taken a peek at the content, at least. Gotta find a way to make him spill the beans. Oh, wow. Kurosawa is feigning calm, but is obsessed with whatever was taken. And again, he's not going to just tell us if we ask. So it's a matter of what could we tell him that wouldn't make him talk. Gotcha. I'll think about it. I don't know why I thought that said check. Go for it. Listen. I gotta tell him that, like, I got you your pen, so you gotta give me the deets. Let's think things through. Log server contains National Police info. Get Kurosawa to talk about the secret. Jasmine thinks Kurosawa has peeked at the content. Is there anything you're unsure of? I think it's gonna be hard to get him to talk. Kurosawa-san has been hiding various pieces of information from us. If we can make him believe that we are partially aware of the truth and are in a position to help him, we may be able to get past his emotional barrier. The doppelganger is clearly sneaking in to steal the National Police's data, acting in ways that an anomaly wouldn't. Is there some kind of hint in there? What could we say to catch Kurosawa-san off guard? The doppelganger may be... a Zimmer who is trying to plot a terrorist attack. Nailed it! I don't... that seemed weird. Like, I get it, I guess I don't get it. Like, obviously anyone trying to get National Police data probably is doing it for nefarious reasons, so like, what, we're just trying to force his hand by saying, yo, probably gonna blow shit up, man. Doppelganger may be a Zimmer who's trying to plot a terrorist attack. This is just a thought, but putting aside whether the doppelganger is an anomaly or not, if we hypothesize it's a Zimmer working towards a goal, things start making sense. This is a huge slip up by Kurosawa-san's company, but he'd probably tell us if it would stop a terrorist attack. We could possibly ask Kurosawa-san outright, but that's kind of scary, honestly. I should check with Jasmine first. Doppelganger's identity. Just a thought about the entity we've been calling a doppelganger. Could it be a Zimmer trying to make things look like it's a doppelganger? You think so too, Azami? They snuck in here a week ago to snatch National Police info for their terrorist plans. But they failed and realized they need a red card-like device for the heist. Damn, Jasmine's like 50 steps ahead of Azami. I mean, that's basically what I thought too, but... me and Jasmine, we're just so alike. We really should like go out on a date or something, right, Jasmine? So they stole it from a CEO's office or something like that. They needed a device to steal the data? How do you know this? Azami, just trust me on this one. Go pressure Kurosawa a bit. If he won't talk, just mention that device and he should tell you everything. Okay, I guess I won't question it at all, Jasmine, even though it's worth questioning, but whatever. I love you. Yes, anything you need, let me know anytime. The National Police's data. Kurosawa-san, about the content of the server that the doppelganger tried to hack. Can't really tell you much. Do you just focus on the intruder's motives? Yeah, it's about that, though. What if the intruder was a Zimmer? They've been carrying out terrorist attacks. If they laid hands on the information, you don't know what they might do. What exactly is this top-secret info about? Let's slow down a bit. As I mentioned earlier, nothing was taken during this intrusion. And you may have heard, but even if they had tried to access the server, special authentication is needed to retrieve the data. Oh, but the red card-like device was stolen from your office, wasn't it? Isn't that a huge concern? I didn't think you'd find out this much. You having me investigate? Information in that server is related to VIP protection. VIP protection info. VIP protection? Info related to security measures for political figures and leaders from within Japan. And also for VIPs visiting from overseas. Security is a growing concern recently. I mean the Zimmer terrorist activities that we see in the news? So Zimmers could plan terrorist attacks with that information? Azami, you made the leap of logic that could have been the case. So why are you acting surprised? Yes, which is why I was hoping you could figure out who the thief is. Then again, haha, you got me. Guess I underestimated you. He's wording this as if we brought up a real zinger or something. I should update Jasmine either way. That Kurosawa guy seems fishy, yeah. Sounds great. We know what's in the server. Jasmine, we know what's in the server. You okay? You don't look good. It's got info on VIP protection. The intruder who came to the server room was trying to access VIP protection info. Just like you suggested, I mentioned the device to Kurosawa-san and he told me. Okay. If it's a Zimmer, then they're definitely planning out the steps towards their goal. This means the Zimmers have full access to security info on the VIPs, right? Well, no, because this was like before they got the thing. You got it. This could be really bad. Can't they like change the security to not use that device though? Jasmine, does the situation look hopeless? Well, the doppelganger has probably been after Kurosawa's data for a while. And the server contains national police info on VIP protection. Did the Zimmer do this to plan terrorist attacks? The police are in danger, but we are too, now that we know. If they realize the center is involved, the Zimmers may label us as threats and actively target us. Oh no, even if we aren't doing anything to them? We figured out their plans, that's reason enough for them to come after us. And this means the boss man's silence is a concern too. No word in a while. Let's hope it's not because of the Zimmers. You think boss man's helping the real Kurosawa? Or the doppelganger that's the real Kurosawa? Do you think the director is okay? The boss man's a resourceful one, so I'm not that worried. Either way, the Zimmers have probably already achieved their goal. Now it's up to how we and the police follow up. I see. Anyway, let's stop here for today. Tell them bye and head home. Yes! Having that stolen really messes with our plans. Our plans. So, okay, that's the thing though. Is that this Kurosawa, again, I'm gonna, like, if I'm wrong, it's all gonna fall apart for me. And I also have, like, no other theories. This Kurosawa doesn't have the, device that's needed to get into the server. I think when Azami mentioned the device in that, he's like, of course, that was the key that we needed to get in, but we can't now, as Zimmers, we're not allowed. The red device, too. Oh, he's talking about, like, the hard drive, then. And again, that girl's power could be useful. Also, him calling it the red device is weird. Because, like, he knows what it is. It's not a device. I really hope the director is okay. I'm assuming this is another dream. Assuming Jasmine's right, I wonder what the director is doing now. Another pile of books, researching something, I guess. Occult fundamentals for dummies. Alien abduction techniques, past and present. The world without Satomu Kisaragi. Spice up your occultic fun. I want to read that one. The Book of the Dead, according to Satomu Kisaragi. These are all books by all of them? Dr. Kisaragi. Wait, what? Oh, wait a minute. The World Without Satomu Kisaragi was also by him? And there's something else in the pile. A memo by the director? Server room, CEO's office, Kurosawa home. The last line reads, Kurosawa Seiji? The doppelganger's movements. Seen with that vision? Yeep, it's time for me to go meet Jasmine. No, it's because he's working with the doppelganger. Because the doppelganger's the real one. We're here to figure it out, I guess. I don't know. It's all part of the director's master plan. Okay, let's get started. Any word from the boss man? Not yet. I don't know what's going on. Seems really busy. I did find a memo listing the places we've investigated. The last line read, CG Kurosawa. Keeping watch with that vision, huh? Could throw us a tip or two at least. Anyway, CG Kurosawa is Yuya Kurosawa's father. Okay. So is he working with the father then? We'll be heading to CG Kurosawa's home, their estate. I mean, that's gonna be like the last person we see in our thing. Doppelganger guy showed up there. You mean that Kurosawa-san's family home? I guess that's why that was on the list, right? Because that was the next place. Yep, if the boss man had the name written down, there must have been some clue. CG Kurosawa, that CEO guy, has some serious lineage. Wait, who exactly is CG Kurosawa? Am I gonna have to go on Facebook to find out? Again, how do you not hear about things? Looking it up online will give you an idea. Understood. I'll search for CG Kurosawa then. I wonder if the Kurosawa estate might be hiding something. Something that the doppelganger and Zimmers both want. The info stored in the server room? Maybe not since it's top secret. What a mess if that had leaked. Anyway, I'll go ahead and look up CG Kurosawa. You know, I'm only here for the urban myths. Although, like, I'm gonna be honest, most of the time when the urban myths do come up, it's like so unrelated to anything that's actually happening. I guess reptilians and doppelgangers, at least. Well, I mean, obviously doppelganger is a thing. But sometimes it just feels like no reason why it was brought up, like Cajun answer. Like, I feel like we're just gonna be like scrolling and someone's gonna say like, gives me some real Jersey Devil vibes. Is it true that director Kurosawa's son is Yuya Kurosawa, the CEO of UTech? I bet you he's leaving management up to someone else and just playing around. Director Kurosawa? They mean CG Kurosawa. We were looking up CG-san, but info on his son came up. His father's a big shot and the son makes a lot of money, so I'm sure a lot of people envy him. Which one gets more attention? It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Wait, there's a reaction to Yuya Kurosawa? Just looking up director Kurosawa will probably lead to more like this. Try using keywords to narrow down the search for info on CG. You know, this Kurosawa guy really reminds me of that whole bridge incident, you know, with the Mothman. Sorry, I didn't mean what this said. UTech, I'll read it. UTech does seem to be doing really well. Must be nice not having to work that hard. UTech has ties with big companies and the government, so it's set for the next several years at the very least. It must be nice to have parents in high places. I have no idea how he's pulling it off as the CEO of a tech company, but have you guys ever heard of the Stink Ape? A company like this getting contracts with the government? We're doomed. Doomed? I'm done with the naming off a couple cryptids. Doomed? Are we really? There are plenty of people saying that kind of thing. Ignore them. He's the real deal when it comes to skill, though his business manners are something else. He'll take on work even with questionable morals. I guess you don't need to watch your back when your parents have power, or you have to worry about the Hopkinsville Goblin. Sorry. I just like naming them. Sounds like he has the business skills, but no morals. Jasmine's loving it. Have you heard of nightcrawlers? Nightcrawlers are fun. They look like pants. That's how it goes in business. There is no place for morals. Granted, maybe that's more of an overseas perspective. Like where the Mothman lies. That wouldn't work in Japan. No Mothman's there. Really? They say that those who succeed in business tend to be psychopaths. I can kind of see that. I have seen American Psycho. UTech Priority that's not a cryptid, that's just a movie. If you weren't aware, American Psycho, not a cryptid. UTech Priorities, I'm in a mood right now, I'm sorry. UTech Priority was started only 7 years ago. Are there any other cases of companies growing so quickly? I can't tell if people are saying good things about him or not. It sounds like they're saying bad things, I'm gonna be honest, Azami. Reputation seems mixed. Isn't he just a guy born into wealth? Clearly his parents hooked him up. His parents hooked him up? That seems to come up a lot. I don't think that's the only factor in this, though I'm sure those connections help a lot. Upper class citizens can get away with anything. Should that really be allowed? No, but, you know. I think Good Charlotte sang a song about that. The upper class aren't just, again, Good Charlotte, not cryptids. They are a band. Upper class aren't just allowed to do anything they want, are they? Totally not. Plenty of people think they can, though. I kind of think they can't. I'm gonna be honest, Jasmine. I don't know if you're on the right side of that one. Kurosawa's father, Seiji Kurosawa, is the security director of the National Police Agency. As a parent, director Seiji Kurosawa probably just wanted to protect his precious only son. How, however, rank is the security director of the National Police Agency? The very top? There are a bunch of different departments, but he's above them all, and he's probably snake-shaped. Oh, that is fascinating. Alright, so security director, National Police Agency. Probably not the Snake Man. That would be wild, wouldn't it? A reaction, we should look into this. Yeah, he's a powerful person, and we don't want to offend him. Let's look him up in advance. Not to mention, Jasmine's thing is not the police security director of national police stuff. That's not related. Big Boy's daddy is the police director. Big Boy's daddy explains why UTech Priorities head office is in Toronamon. Sorry, Toronamon. I thought that said Toronto for a minute. It's kind of what threw me off. What do they mean by that? Guess they mean because the National Police Agency is near Toronam. I'm just gonna move on. Forget I said anything. Yuya Kurosawa is untouchable. His dad is the director of security. That means his face alone can get him places in government offices, and then daddy can cover up scandals that may arise. LOL. Can he really cover up problems like that? Cover up, huh? Who knows? Not sure, but people do love their scandals. I love my scandals. Let's look up the deets. There's a reaction to scandals. People really seem to expect them. Does anyone ever, like, just look up scandals? Like, have you ever Googled scandals just because they're like, I wonder what's in the news lately? Scandals, let's check it out. Nope, too many results. Let's go with Yuya since we're focusing on CG, realistically. Yuya Kurosawa had a few scandals during his streamer days, but he turned a new leaf after starting UTech. I would love to know more about streamer days. So he's up to no good when he was younger? He's still young though. But he's not up to no good, so they say. Arity's on his best behavior even at hostess bars and clubs. People really can change. He hasn't had a single scandal since becoming UTech's CEO. His best behavior? Guess that means he isn't a violent drunk. The total opposite of Beauty Jun. What if they're the same person? What if Beauty Jun is the doppelganger? I bet they're just covering up all the scandals. That's easy work for the head of police, right? Is it easy to cover up scandals? Can't be that easy. I don't know, Jasmine. If it's easy, you wouldn't know about the covered up scandals, would you? Sorry. You just always been good at getting away with things, lol. Getting away with things? Why would this person know that? Maybe they know him personally? Hard to believe, though. When he was a streamer, I feel like Yuya didn't have as many scandals as others. Is that so? I see. Maybe he's the type who's careful about these things. Not a prank channel. But if you ask the staff at restaurants he goes to, everyone has a good impression of him. Like he's very humble and sweet. So there are good impressions. If it's only from a few moments of interaction, impressions can be all over the place. I mentioned that before. With Beck, who is not a cryptid. He's an artist. The band, I think it's just the artist Beck. Artist formerly known as Beck. Still Beck, though. To know which high-rise the Kurosawas live in, but I wish fake policemen would show up and sweat them dry. This is a cryptid? Kurosawa-san doesn't live in a high-rise, does he? People just like to make things up. Fake police are also an urban myth. I think the story goes that they show up in women's homes. Ugh. Is that an urban myth, or that... Like, I should read what it is. It's probably like a ghost. But all it makes me think of is like the idea that cars might come up to you with fake lights. That's something I've heard. I guess if it never happened, but it probably happened. So I can't imagine it's an urban myth. It's like, you know, it's stories. I've got a good eye for people, and I can tell you this. That man is a narcissist. His personality is complete trash. One look at him and I know that man is trouble. By just looking at him, that's not really something you can tell from a single look. I don't know. They got him in their eyes. Fake police. Look at him. So fake. Excuse me, I just need to ask you a few questions. There was a murder in this apartment building last night. Did you notice anything out of order? The police officer asked us over the intercom screen. If you had seen a suspicious man last night, would you tell him? Let me tell you a story about a certain woman. She came home late at night and passed a suspicious man in the hallway. The next day, a police officer asked her if she saw someone suspicious last night. A few days later, the TV news reported a murder in the woman's apartment and that the murderer has been caught. A chill ran down the woman's spine when she saw the news. The murderer was the police officer she had seen on the intercom. The man remembered her from a previous encounter and came dressed as a policeman that day to seek out anyone who had seen him. I don't dare to guess what would have happened if she had told the truth. If I were in this woman's shoes, I don't think I'd have been able to keep my composure. Like, I feel like this had to have happened in some regard, right? This doesn't feel like an urban myth. I guess, I don't know, in the same way that like the killer under the bed is a myth, or the actually the killer under the bed was a ghost still, right? Like, that seems like something that actively could have or would have happened. I guess that's what makes it spooky. I mean, I guess in the same sense that like the hook on the car door could have happened in a like very vague way. And it doesn't seem very like ghost scandalous. You know what I mean? That's not what I wanted to do. No letters moving around. False alarm. Can we just look up the director first? Nah. What about them together? I was gonna say, that'd be crazy if there was no results. There he is! He looks suspicious. C.G. Kurosawa, director of the National Police Security Bureau, is a big name among the elite career civil servants. Never thought he was Yuya Kurosawa's father, though. Career civil servants? They mean civil servants with the most power. Okay. I don't really know what that means, but good on them. Which means UTech Priority shares the same connections with C.G. Kurosawa, like how politicians often divert public funds to their family businesses. Is that really true? Who knows, but by the look of it, his father's influence probably helps with getting work. No cap. Sorry. can't handle that they actually said no cap in this game. No cap, I found evidence that director Seiji Kurosawa outsources National Police Agency cases to his son's company, UTech Priority. Take a look, GR! Wait, what? This is evidence? No, how could this be evidence? It's just some random paper used to make it look like he does. So, like, did this post have a link attached to it, I guess? Wouldn't this normally be considered a conflict of interest? The politicians and others in power are good at hiding their tracks. Isn't that breaking the law? But breaking the law. Just means there are also ways they can evade the law. This is how all the money ends up staying with the upper class. Nothing trickles down. These systems have been in place for how many years now? We need to dismantle them now. GR, GR. Jasmine, this person. They do give Zimmer vibes, you know, with the fact that they sign off with GR. That's the issue with Anon accounts. We can't prove anything. As soon as I started talking about nothing trickling down, it made me think of that meme of the fat man drinking like water from the pipe and only like a little bit of it dribbling down to like that skinny, like dying person. Seiji Kurosawa was up there in age when his only son came along. Of course, he'd do all he could to support his son in starting a company, even if he did a few bad things. But the police wouldn't do bad things, would they? Ooh, Azami, you're not on the right side here. Or of course not. Thanks, Jasmine. You know, I trust you on that opinion, especially with or course not. It's fine. Prioritizing your family's business is deemed wrong in society, but if you had that power, I bet you'd do it too, lol. Really? Would you? If you were to go work for the government and work your way up the ranks, wouldn't you want to find a way to work with me and Bossman again? When you put it like that, would Azami want to work with Bossman again? He is extorting her for money. You could avoid that question with a smile, then you'd make a good politician. This country is falling apart because of people like that at the top. How long has it been going on? Kurosawa and his son should be punished by any means necessary. Is that how it is? Any means necessary, that's a Zimmer-like statement. No, they didn't sign off with GR, it can't be Zimmer. If Kurosawa, I like how like Jasmine's not even hiding that she's really focused on figuring out Zimmer stuff. We have like no reason to believe that's, I guess we do if we took our theory that they wanted to get into the secret government stuff because of Zimmer-related things. If Kurosawa is funneling public money into his son's business, that is an issue, but there is no proof. Proof? They're right! Legally speaking, as long as he isn't vastly overpaying, they're in the clear. But even so, they wouldn't look great. With the father as the head of the police and the son's company getting government work, it's highly probable that's what they're up to. Highly probable. Almost completely certain. What I am getting from this for the most part is that, there isn't really any proof. Like, obviously, I think anyone would say this stuff. And, you know, there is obviously that kind of, jealousy of someone being rich. So, as much as, like, you know, us in the real world, we can say, like, oh yeah, I don't trust any of this. There is a high likelihood that Yuya Kurosawa is an upright, upstanding citizen and not getting, like, too much of a special treatment thing or, like, things under the rug for scandals. But who knows? I'm still kind of basing that on the whole, like, the one we're interacting with not being real, so I think, like, the other one's probably fine. Seiji Kurosawa rose to the role of director of the National Police Security Bureau without a single scandal, right? I expect no less from a career civil servant. Kurosawa-san's father seems really impressive. Yeah, he really is. That's all you had to say. The non-career civil servants are out on the streets protecting the people while these career track elites take back and chat with reporters. Those guys should get out there too. Non-career civil servants. The ones not aiming for politics or more, out following leads or talking to victims. Must be nice to be on the career path. I've seen that kind of thing in cops TV shows. What exactly does the director of the National Police Security Bureau even do? Good point. What do they do? How would I know? I've never been one, says Jasmine. I don't know, like, what was I don't even remember what her, like, people are. What are they? Give me a minute. Kutu. Yeah, police department, public safety bureau, counter unidentified terrorist unit. Now that's a mouthful. So they're a team that specializes in neutralizing unidentified terrorist cells to prevent attacks. Whoa! Where did you all come from? Right, I read this already. So it is public safety bureau. It's just a special unit of the police force. So yeah, that's why Jasmine's being a little cheeky about it. They're like security guards to VIPs. There's been a bunch of weird stuff involving the occult lately, right? Their job is to make sure that people don't do stupid stuff like that. Huh. Sigh. Since the Zimmers are doing terrorist attacks, must be rough. If the Zimmers cause another bombing, then it's Director Kurosawa that will be held responsible? VIP security information? What? Looks like they're facing a pretty serious situation. What? They're like security guards to VIPs. This talks about VIP security stuff. And this one's like, oh, would he be responsible? It'd be quite a scandal if that happened. If anything, the Zimmers would be targeting Director Kurosawa. Not a doctor, director. Targeting CG Kurosawa? Seems that could be possible. I was gonna say, I'm not really getting any shakies, but we got a Zimmer activity. We're honestly entertaining the idea, judging by Zimmer activity, it would be strange for them to suddenly target the director, even if they want the information on VIPs protected by the Bureau. Information on the VIPs they're protecting? This person has really thought this through. People seriously need to stop speculating like that. I'm worried what else the Zimmers might try to do. That's why I'm gonna look them up. Everyone's eyes are on Zimmer activity. What kind of possibilities are they debating? I'm getting depressed just thinking about it. I guess I kind of was like barely paying attention to the whole VIP talk. So, okay. Security Bureau, protecting important people. And I guess this is just implying that the bombing would be against VIPs. I already looked at that. Everyone's eyes to Zimmer. Skip it. I pressed the wrong button. Skip it. Okay. Zimmer scandals. No results. Do you think... I imagine we just want Zimmer activity by itself. Oh, never mind. Actually, before we continue that, is Zimmer by itself a thing? Too busy. Okay. Following the recent arrests of members of the Zimmer terrorist group, CG Kurosawa, director of the National Police Security Bureau, announced a plan to bolster VIP protection measures. What might the Zimmers' next move be? Kurosawa-san's father was in the news the other day. ... I don't know why you had to ... that, Jasmine, because you were maybe there. Zimmers are scary. I don't get it. Cult fans are so twisted. There's that Kisaragi guy, too. Next thing we know, the Urban Myth Dissolution Center will become terrorists, too. That's us! Jasmine, are we terrorists? What? They're talking about us? That person sounds way too scared. I mean, that's as far as we're gonna go with that. I would be like, oh, it's nice that we're popular enough to kind of get thrown out there. Just a name that's in the public space, I guess. Protecting high-profile people, so it's only the rich and famous who are afforded protection. Surely there's more you can be doing to fight terrorism. More that can be done? I get what they're saying, but it's also important to protect high-profile targets. If there was a bomb threat in the city, politicians could just escape to underground shelters. What is the average citizen supposed to do? Underground shelters? Like the underground facility we were at recently? No, underground bomb shelters are just an urban myth. Are they? If they were, Jasmine, it would have shown up in my Urban Myths log page. You're lying to me. I mean, bomb shelters are a thing, right? Or like, I guess Jasmine means like high stakes, like government bomb shelters for VIP people. Like, you know, stuff you'd see in movies. I heard that There's a special team within the National Police Agency Security Bureau staffed by immortal cops developed by the former Japanese army specifically to take on extremists like the Zemhers. Okay. Is this not an urban myth? Immortal soldiers? Yeah, right. Jasmine, are you one of those? Is that why you can do kung fu? Cult-brained people will find any excuse to lash out. That Urban Myth Dissolution Center and the ones who follow them are just potential terrorists. How could they? We never even think about doing that. I don't know, Jasmine might. Some people just act like they know it all. Actually, I mean, obviously Jasmine wouldn't because she's fed, but the director might. I always thought those people at the Urban Myth Dissolution Center were just ticking time bombs. Only extremists look into such dark subjects, do they? Because I gotta be honest with you, dude. Have you seen some YouTube channels? That's a lot of terrorists. Looks like we have our own army of haters. Looks like it. They're lumping us in with the Zimmers. Yo, we should be able to search up the Urban Myth Dissolution Center. I want to see what everyone has to say. So our survival of devastation and judgment all lies on Seiji Kurosawa's shoulders, or something like that. The only one who can save us from destruction is Kurosawa-san's father? Put my money on us over Kurosawa's dad. Nostradamus. Again, I'm like misreading things. I thought that said Nosferatu for a minute. Nostradamus' great prophecy didn't come true in the end. What was Nostradamus' great prophecy? So I don't think the occultists will actually follow through with their bomb threats. Either way, we can only wait and hope the police will do their best to counter. A lot of like Nostradamus' stuff came true, but that's also like, you know, vagueness can kind of be seen as a positive, false positive, I guess. And yet there are still people trying to follow through. Most people never considered that a terrorist attack could affect them personally. Actually, I have like no idea what Nostradamus predicted. I just know he, like, it did. Some. Zimmers? Like the Simpsons. Nostradamus is basically the Simpsons if you think about it. Zimmers? Oh, those super supporters of Satomu Kisaragi? I bet you Seiji Kurosawa and the police never expected to have to deal with them now. Same Zima users or Kisaragi supporters? I don't know why I screamed that. I think that's just all caps username. Or not username, it's a website. Or domain. I don't know. Whatever. They do often, it might be a blog. They do often talk about him on the site. And Kisaragi's book is a must-read in the cult circles. There's no doubt that terrorists equals weird occult fans equals Urban Myth Dissolution Center. You solved it. You did the math. Good job, user. Kisaragi was a criminal too, so that clearly means that the Urban Myth Dissolution Center equals criminals. How could they say all that? If we took them to court, we'd win a defamation case hands down. Can you take a user to court like that? These haters are really coming at us. What's going on? The center's bad reputation. All we got was fake police officer, which is a shame. Why is the center getting haters? What is going on? Might mean people are starting to believe the Zimmer terrorist attacks? But why would they do something like this? With terrorists trying to carry out devastation and judgment, everyone's scared and confused. Today, look for a familiar scapegoat they can actually reach. So they jump to conclusions on whose fault it is? Human nature, I wouldn't dwell on it, except that we might get, like, attacked in the streets because of it. Human nature, which I feel like that's always been the theme, human nature, like, humans are disgusting, that's why the online part always sucks in this